Hi everyone, I hope you're having a great Friday. I'm finally back and feeling better than ever. I don't know what kind of cold or something that I had. I just did not feel great, but I'm happy to be back. I hope you had a great week while I was away. I know the last video was actually not a video with a voiceover, and I apologize for that, but my voice was still not all the way there, and I figured soothing music would be better than whatever was going to come out of my mouth, so I just let that happen. But I'm back now, and this one is another home for the newly built community homes, and this one is a one floor home, but it's a little bit better in what's on the outside, because we do actually have a backyard patio, and I love that. I mean, it's not like a balcony or anything, but it's a pretty significant patio, and it is for a young couple. Now, as you can see with like the Sims that are out there, it's a young couple and they have a newborn baby. Now, it does look like a child is there, but that's because I just needed a family to put in. But it's for a young couple who is expecting their first child, and I figured that they were, in college, like using university, probably Brightchester, but that's just me. I don't know. And so I do have that in, and the whole theme is very pastel, and I wish I would have done this after the pastel kit came out, but I didn't, so I didn't use those, but it's very pink. We have purple in the nursery, and then on the outside it's pink and yellowish, so there's that. And this is where I'm really just making the outside more fitting to be a part of this community home. And I like the way that it looks. I'm really glad that I'm able to do, a one-story build, and then we have the two-story builds over there. Now, traditionally, this one actually has 2 bedrooms, a full bath, an office, and a patio space in the back. Now, I really think that this uses a great deal of space, really nice, and it really does show that you can change up a lot of the floor plan in here if you'd like to. Now, it's already up on the gallery, as I've always mentioned in all of my builds, but that's still the case here. It's already up on the gallery. It did take me a little bit of finagling, because sometimes the look of how I've seen it and how the screenshots are conveyed does not actually look like that on the gallery, and that's because they have predetermined angles that they use. It doesn't really have the reshade that I'm using right now. And like a few other things, like if it's nighttime, then it's when I upload it to the gallery, then it's going to use the house in the nighttime and not so much during the day. So it took some changing of like that, and yeah, but I ended up getting it done, and it's perfect, and I really liked the way that it looks both on the gallery and in the game. And so this is when I'm just going in and making out the floor plan, not so much putting in thought into what actually goes there, but just a few things. So I have the owner's suite towards the back, and that's like the room right in front of that car that I put in there. And then this is when I'm just putting in the layout of like how I wanted the dining room to be, like where the living room is, because as you can see, like there's a lot of space in this, and I didn't think it would be that much space. So if I wanted to, I realized that I could actually go ahead and add in actual doors and stuff, but I really wanted to live with this open concept because I didn't really have that much with the other rooms or the other builds, the other two. It was kind of like that for the first community home build that I did, but not as much as I'd like. So I really wanted to lean into an open concept for here, especially with all this great lighting that you see. And I feel like the use for this being a young couple's home or a young couple's first home, that this would be perfect. And I was definitely going to lean into a blue or a pink refrigerator, and I was like, absolutely not, can't do it. So I do end up changing that out for this one. I'm not sure if I actually stay with this blue refrigerator, but I do know that I do lean into the blues, yellows, pinks, and a neutral color of cabinets and things in here. And then on the opposite side of that, I was thinking about adding in a what is it called, a actual half bath, but I do end up opting out of using that, and I do end up using the counters, but I wanted to use, a caddy cornered kind of thing, and I was going for the 4, but then I was like, that is far too big, so I do end up just going with 3, and it kind of leans over into the living room, which I still think is okay. I mean, I would like a little bit more space, but I was like, this is a young couple, this is their first home, they do not need all of that space, so I do end up opting for just the 3 tiles, and adding a storage space in the back. It's kind of like a built-in entertainment center on the back, but it doesn't really have space for a TV or anything like that. It's just really, like I said, storage space, and it definitely works. So this is actually the first build that I did after the high school years pack came out, and so that's when you're actually seeing me use a lot of the high school years build by objects and a few of the other things there. I tried to lean into some things for debug, and I think it's great. So for this one, I actually did fall in love with creating the nursery for this. Like with the nurseries, I realized that it can be fairly difficult because it's all the same things. Like you don't really need to put much in there. You add a rocking chair because it's cute. You add a rug because that's nice, and you add the cradle or crib because that's what's necessary, because you can't really have a baby without that because it's an object and it needs to be put in one of those things. And so once I got those things, I was just like, what else? And then I was like, the storyline that I had for this is that, they had been really wanting, their own sim, their own, baby. And so they had put a lot of thought into creating the nursery for it. And as you can see, it's a little bit colorful now, but I do lean into a theme of it being, blue, purple, black, and gray, and I actually like the way that looks a little bit more. Like you can see that it's a nursery, but I wanted them to lean into that theme, and so that's what we go in with that. And then as we move into the office, I do lean into a yellow, and that's kind of from the outside because they have that light orange-ish yellow wood tones out there, and I just wanted to lean into the yellow here. And I figured, since they are a part of, a university, Brightchester, but I don't know, I did want them to have space for them to continue their learning, and I have that accent wall with some of the pieces that came from Eco Lifestyle, and I think it ends up turning out really great in there. It's not too much, it's like not much at all, but I did want to add in a little bit of personality because, like I said, this is their first home, so they can't really do much because one or both of them are still in school, so they're still doing that, but they really wanted to start their own family. They wanted to get into that part of their lives, so I wanted to give them that, but also being mindful of where they could be, and so that's where I was. And so that was the end of day 1 of building this, or part 1 of building this, and then once I came back, this is when I really started to lean into the rest of it. And so when them having an infant or a baby, they will be a toddler soon, so I was like, they need to have that bath shower combo, and so I add that in here. And then I add in the sink, that we have the toilet, and a few other things to make the decorations just look a little bit better. It's not too much because I didn't really want to do too much. They have a lot of decorations on the outside of this home, or on the outside of the bathroom, so I just added in a few things, not to make it too cluttered, but I did want to make it look like a bathroom because this is the only bathroom in this. Oh no, actually this is not the only bathroom. It's 2 bedrooms. That's what it is. Yes, because I just remembered that there is a bathroom off of the owner's suite. That's what makes it an owner suite. And so there's that. And then I added, this is the entertainment center that I was talking about. And I just added those things there from Eco Lifestyle, and then the Nifty Knitting. I think that's the Nifty Knitting shelf. And so I add that there too. And this is really what I come up with. I'm not sure. I think I love it, but I did end up taking out that shelf from Nifty Knitting because it was far too much going on, and so I do take that out. But I'm happy with the way that this ends up turning out. Towards the end, I was thinking about putting that mirror in, and as you can see, I do end up taking it out. I was thinking about adding that blue in, do end up taking that out too, but I could see the concept of where I was going with it. And I feel like my thought process was really trying to speak to me, and I took that blue out of there. Okay, and so as of right now, I'm starting to move into some things that I wanted to add, some decorations and a few other things for the entryway, as well as trying to figure out what I wanted to add to the dining room space over there. I have actually never used that storage space that came with, I think it's Eco Lifestyle. It's like right off of the, right when you come in through the door, it's to the right next to the dining table. I was like, I have never seen that before, so I definitely wanted to use it. And so that was my time of using it, adding in some decorations and some clutter onto the kitchen because, like I said, young couple, microwave. That means microwave meals. It's possible because I am a young person and I microwave a lot of stuff. So I wanted to add that in. It wasn't so much necessary for the other two builds, but I felt like this was the perfect time to add it in as well. And so that's what I did, as well as a few other things. I add some plants in. That shelf plant thing that came with, what was it? The Blooming Rooms kit. Is it Blooming Rooms? Blooming Plants? One of those. You know what I'm talking about. And so I just went ahead and added some plants onto it, as well as some debug items like the coffee bag, the mail, and the remote for the TV. And a few other things, like I used the makeup set right there, and then some of the toddler cards that I thought I was going to end up adding it onto the dresser, but I do just leave them on the floor because I was like, they're just so excited, they're just putting things in there, and so that's what I added there. And so in the owner suite, I do end up adding a chair, a little ottoman. We have a what is it, that makeup set. I think I end up taking that out, but I'm not completely sure. I do end up adding another dresser, a nice painting. We have a rug in there. And then this is when I'm just going in and adding in some paint everywhere because I was like, it looks a little bland. Like there's a lot of everything else, but it still looks a little bland. So this is me adding those in. And I thought I was going to use those, base game curtains. No, do not end up using those. I do actually want to make a base game build one day. I just have to be in the mind space to have that kind of inspiration for me, and I'm not there yet. So once I get there, you all will be the first to know because it'll be on here, but I'm not there yet. So it's not base game day today. So I do end up using those curtains, and I am not sure where it comes from. It could be Seasons, but it could be City Living, one of those. I'm not sure, but I do end up going for that. I do end up using a lighter color scheme here, and so that's why I'm using the whites, creams, and I do end up using an ottoman that is yellow. And I ended up thinking that this would be a more renovated bathroom than the other one because I am using that lighter color scheme, so we really lean into it with this. We just add an accent color of gray instead of that tan with the whites, and I think it works. So I really hope you all like this. I know we still have like 4 or so minutes before the voiceover, but I am really happy that I'm getting into this. I know I haven't really been streaming at all, but that's just because I have been building, but I got these glasses so that my head doesn't hurt as much as like when I'm building and stuff, and I'm still trying to figure out if they're actually working. So I haven't really been playing The Sims like for long durations. I have to do it in like small spurts because of the headaches that I endure, and I really want to get back into streaming and things. So you all will again be the first to know once I do begin streaming again, but it is on the horizon. So I think I'll probably start sometime at the start of next year, and I want to definitely be more consistent, and I think that that's a possibility because I have been very consistent with creating content for The Sims on YouTube, and I think once I get this down packed and I can do this, then I'll get back on and stream, and then some of the things that I do on stream will be seen here on YouTube and vice versa, and I think that's a great thing. So once I get into that, I'll give you all more details on it, but this is where I'm just cluttering a few more things for this entertainment center over here. As you can see, it does look like the entryway to that is like not happening much. And so I needed to add an entryway to the back porch so that we can get there. And then that's when I realized that this house definitely needs a little bit more. And so that's when I go ahead and expand the back. And this is where we end up having that back porch. And I think it looks so cool. I do end up adding out here 2 3-tiled couches. We have a massive TV and a grill. So I think that they're really outside people. Like I said, they're young couples, so they have their friends and they have a few other things going on out here. Like, they're really social. And I feel like this definitely works for Sims who have a social life, like social butterflies, like life of the party type of thing, you know, until their family starts. And this is the perfect place. And you can always change out the nursery for something else, like a crafting room, or, you know, like a music studio, or, you know, just an additional bedroom. You know, if, you know, you have friends over, you know, pretend or whatever, because you can't really do that in The Sims, but you can add another guest room. You can make it, you know, a formal dining space if you want to. Change a bunch of things up. There's so many possibilities with floor plans in The Sims, especially with a home like this, because there's so much space. You really don't have to worry about, you know, the common things that we have to worry about in reality, like plumbing and things like that. And so it's just as simple as going in or placing it unfurnished, and that's always a possibility. But I really do hope you all like the decorations that I put into this, you know, the effort, and it's already furnished and it looks just like the other ones. And like I said, all of these are actually already up on the gallery, like the other 2 on the side and this one. And I really hope that you all like it. We're coming swiftly up onto screenshots here, and there's every part of this home is in those screenshots, and it really like made me feel great because I can't believe I'm doing this series and it's turning out pretty well. I don't really know how many homes are going to be in this playlist or series of the newly constructed community homes, but I really hope that you all are enjoying it thus far, and I'm enjoying making it because it's really taking me out of my comfort zone of how I build and working with consistency. So yeah, I will see you all in the next speed build. I really hope that you have a great rest of your week and start of the new week, and I hope you enjoy this, you know, these screenshots and everything. Go ahead and download it. I will see you all in the next video. Bye everyone.